When adding and subtracting fractions, the most important thing to remember is that fractions must have the same denominator. The number on the bottom must be the same in order to add or subtract. We have two examples here, 3/8 plus 2/8. When you're using a fraction circle to help you add, the first step is to shade in one of the fractions. We colored in 3 of the pieces because the numerator is a 3. The circle is split into 8 parts because the denominator is 8. Then color in 2/8. So we will shade in 2 more pieces to show the 2/8. Our denominator stays 8 because the circle is made of 8 pieces. We count the number of circle pieces shaded in, and it is a 5. So our answer is 5/8. Add the numerators together, the denominator stays the same. It's the same process with subtracting fractions. First, shade in the first fraction, 4/6. Our circle is split into 6 pieces because the denominator is a 6. We will shade in 4 parts because our numerator is a 4. Because we're subtracting, we're not shading in new pieces, we are getting rid of pieces. In this case, we're subtracting 3 of the 6 pieces. So we are going to X out 3 pieces. Our denominator stays a 6 because there are 6 pieces in the circle. Our shaded piece is just a 1, so our answer is 1/6. Subtract the numerators. 4 minus 3 gives you the 1. The 6 of the denominator stays the same. Important vocabulary is common denominators. These are fractions that have the same denominator. We use multiplication and division to change fractions by multiplying by a common factor so that they become the same denominator. To add or subtract two fractions, they must have the same denominator. Change the fraction to equivalent fractions with the same denominators. Then add or subtract the numerators and simplify the sum or the difference. Remember, the sum is the answer to an addition problem. The difference is an answer to a subtraction problem. Here's 2 sample problems. First, find a common denominator. This is where our least common multiples come in handy. We want the smallest multiple that both 5 and 4 can change into. In this case, our common denominator would be 20. 5 times 4 is 20. It doesn't always find the common smallest denominator by multiplying the two together, but multiplying the two denominators together always gives you a common denominator. We're going to rewrite these into equivalent fractions. 1/5, we are going to multiply both the 1 and the 5 by 4 to get 4/20. Remember, the goal is to get the denominator as a 20. So you're asking yourself, what times 5 gives me 20? Times 4. So I do the same thing to the numerator. I multiply it times 4. Now I'm going to find the equivalent fraction for 1/4. I need the denominator to be a 20, so I'm going to multiply by 5. Both the 1 and the 4 times 5 gives me 5/20. Now I can add my two fractions together because they have the same denominator. 4/20 plus 5/20 gives me 9/20. I do not need to simplify because neither 9 nor 20 share any common factors. Now we have a subtraction problem. 7/8 minus 2/6. Now if I multiply 8 times 6, I get 48, and that is a common denominator. But if I want to look for the least common multiple, I know that 8 and 6, my LCM is 24. So that is the smallest denominator that I can use that both 7/8 and 2/6 can change into. I'm going to rewrite both of my fractions as equivalent fractions using the denominator of 24. I know 8 times 3 is 24, So I'm also going to multiply 7 times 3. This gives me 21 24ths. Now for 2 6, I need to change the 6 to a 24. 6 times 4 is 24. So I'm going to do the same thing to the numerator. 2 times 4 is 8. So my new fraction is 8 24ths. Now I'm going to subtract my two fractions. 21 24ths minus 8 24ths. My denominator stays the same. All I need to do is subtract 21 minus 8. And this gives me 13 24ths. Again, 13 and 24 do not share any factors, so it's already in simplest form.